Hey guys, in this part we talk about for loops in Python. A for loop is used for iterating over a sequence. This is less like the for keyword in other programming languages and works more like an iterator method as found in other object-oriented programming languages. With the for loop we can execute a set of statements once for each item in a list, tuple, set, and etc. So for example, I create a list fruits equal to apple and banana and cherry, and use for loop for x in fruits and print x. Save and run. Apple, banana, and cherry. And the for loop doesn't require an indexing variable to set beforehand. And looping through a string. Even strings are iterable objects. They contain a sequence of characters. So, for example, I create for loop x in a string nana and print x. Save and run, and we have characters of banana. And the break statement, with the break statement we can stop the loop before it has looped through all the items. So for example, in here, if x equal to banana, break the loop. Save and run, and we don't have cherry. And the continuous statement, with the continuous statement we can stop the current iteration of the loop and continue with the next. So if cut this, paste here, and if x equal to banana, continue the loop. Save and what? Yeah. And save and run. And we have apple and cherry, and we don't have banana. And the range function, to loop through a set of code a specified number of times, we can use the range function. The range function returns a sequence of numbers starting from 0 by default and increments by 1 by default and ends at the specified number. So for example, for x in range 0 to 6 and print x. Save and run, and we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the range function defaults to 0 as a starting value. However, it's possible to specify the starting value by adding a parameter. So for example, 2 to 6, and which means values from 2 to 6 but not including the 6. Save and run, and 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the range function defaults to increment the sequence by 1. However, it's possible to specify the increment value by adding a third parameter. So for example, I change the 6 to 30 and increment by 3. Save and run, and we have 2, 5, 8, and etc. And else in for loop. The else keyword in a for loop specifies a block of code to be executed when the loop is finished. So use else print finally finished. save and run, and we have finally finished in here. And the else block will not be executed if the loop is stopped by break a statement. And nested loops. A nested loop is a loop inside a loop. The inner loop will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loop. So I create a list adjective red and big and tasty, and for x in adjective, and use another for y in fruits, and print x and y, save and run, and we have items. And the pass statement. For loops cannot be empty, but if you for some reason have a for loop with no content, put in the pass statement to avoid getting an error. So for example, for x in a list 1, 2 and 3, and use pass statement, save, and we don't have an error.